you love yourself? And do you know your self-worth? Are you making choices only based on yourself and what you want? Do you know what you want? What you want in this life? And do you know what you deserve? Do you believe that you deserve the absolute best? If you do not do those things, then you need to change that. Because it's the most disrespectful thing to do to yourself. Not having self-love, not knowing your worth, and not acting in a way where you are letting yourself have the absolute best. Where you do not think of yourself. Because at the end of the day, you are the only one that you got, always. People come and go throughout life. Some stay for a short while, and some stay for a longer while and then leave. But in this life, the one that will always be with you is yourself. So when you think about it, it should be the most natural thing to act in your own, act from a place where you believe that you deserve the best, and when you have and feel so much love for yourself. This is also so important because your outer world is always a product of your inner world. If you do not have high self-love for yourself, how do you expect to act towards others in the most genuine and loving way possible? You're not even doing it to yourself, so how could you do it to others? I mean, you might believe that you do it to others and say, but I do not love myself that high, but I still show everyone else love. But if you do that, then that's a place like you do things for love, to receive love. And that's coming from a place where something is missing inside of you. And you put value in things out of yourself. If you instead have the highest form of self-love and know that I love myself, and nothing can ever change that. I know myself and I love myself exactly for who I am, and I do the best things for me. Then of course you can mirror that to another person in a genuine way. You can do that you don't expect anything. It's unconditional love and genuine love. I've seen so many, and I have also acted in that way, where you don't have the self-love and you don't have the safe space inside of you. So when you start dating someone, like so fast and immediately you get attached to that person because you feel like, wow, they make my whole world complete and I feel so safe around them and they make me happy. If I don't have them, how will I survive without them? You are putting all your safety and your happiness and well-being and your feeling of love in someone else. Because you don't have it in yourself. And that's not a genuine connection. Then that's just desperation. You should never look for happiness, love, well-being, or anything in that way outside of yourself. You should always know that things can go the way they go around you. You can have people leave you, or you can have hard situations happening to you, but you still feel a sense of calm because you know you have yourself. And you love yourself so deeply. And you believe in yourself. So that won't, of course it can affect you if it's a hard situation, of course, but you don't lose yourself because you haven't attached your well-being, love, or sense of self in something out of yourself. And many people, I think, who have not been used to choosing their self or putting themselves first, or not having the love or knowing their self-worth, are very scared to start doing that. And that's a very natural way of thinking or reaction. But start with small steps and start putting up boundaries. When you have high self-love and know your worth, then you will also have boundaries and you will never let anyone cross them. And here many people think, but that's a very egoistic way of thinking, but it's not. It will never be. Because, as I said before, when you move and act in a way where you put yourself first and love yourself the most, then you can show that to others. You cannot show that to others in a genuine and real way when you do not have it in yourself. Your inner world is a mirror to your outer world. For an example, let's say you have a person that you don't particularly like and don't really want to hang out with, but every time they ask you to hang out with them, you say yes because you don't want to be mean, or you're just like, oh, I just go along with it because it's hard to say no, they will get sad or whatever. What you're doing then is that you are telling yourself off and neglecting your own needs and feelings. What you're also doing is actually being very disrespectful to that person. Imagine if they know or had known that you do not actually wish to hang out with them. Then I don't think they would appreciate you hanging out with them. I wouldn't want to hang out with someone who actually doesn't want to hang out with me. So sometimes being respectful and acting in a right way is to say, no, I'm sorry, I don't feel like we have a connection and we don't kind of match, so I don't want to hang out. Perhaps that person at first will have like a normal reaction when they're like, oh, okay, I get that. Like a bit sad, but anyway. Or they might be angry or sad, but they will survive and they will not hang out with someone who doesn't want to hang out with them. So the way you act towards yourself will also show how you're, or will be mirrored to how you act towards others. Also, another example, if you are picking on yourself very much, like, oh, I look like this, and oh, I don't like myself, and oftentimes people that think that way are not that nice to others, and they can say things like, ooh, have you seen her? How does she look? Like blah blah blah, and point out things with other people. And I think that says so much about them, and it shows so much insecurity. The way people act will always be a reflection of themselves and their inner world. And getting back to self-worth and self-love, if you change your belief system, if you start to build up boundaries where you get to know yourself and see, oh, I kind of don't like this, so I will not put myself in that situation, or I actually love this, I should do this more. Great for you. And yeah, if you start to build up those things, then let me tell you, your life will change for the better. And it will not just change like this, I've said it before, or this phrase, but it will change so much. everything will change for you. Your whole outer world will transform because you are transforming your inner world, and you are going from a place of lack and a place where you put your well-being, happiness, love, and all that in outer world, in outer things, into a place where you love yourself and you have your whole well-being, happiness, and love inside of yourself. When you are there, you can enjoy things, situations, and relationships in such a genuine way, and in a way that we're meant to enjoy things. You will also never be in situations that are not meant for you, because you know and act from a way where I deserve the absolute best. I do not want to do this, then I don't do it. I want to do that, then I do that. Because it's non-negotiable. You won't let anything else in your life. And one thing that happens when you start to change your belief systems in this way, it might feel like your whole world is falling apart. Relationships there and there are being removed from your life, and you might lose your job, or like your car breaks down or whatever. And sometimes that can be, you get scared and like, why are these things happening to me? But you have been living your whole life in this belief system that's not serving your best. And if you move into a belief system where you believe that you deserve the best, then the things here, they can't be with you here. The math isn't mathing. To go from a situation or relationship that's not good for you, things need to get removed or leave your life so that you can come into a space where you are able to transform and evolve so that new things can take space in your life. So when things are falling apart, just know that it's for the better. And just let it happen. Feel what you have to feel, but do not fight it. Let it happen and know that it's for the better. Good things are coming. If you act from self-love and the knowing of your worth, you can always be assured that good things will come to you. The absolute best things will come to you. In those best and good things, you should know there will be hard times, because we can't move throughout life without hard times, then we won't evolve. But know that those times will be purely meant for you and purely meant to make you grow and to make you be able to receive something even better. I was listening to a YouTube creator and she told a story about her friend who had she had asked the universe or God for like the best possible love and partner, and after that she attracted the worst absolute partner possible. But throughout that partner, she learned to love herself the most. So when you wish for things or think or know that you have the self-love, you have the self-worth, and know that you can attract things that you might feel like, what is this? Shouldn't I have good things happening to me? I am acting from a place of love and worth. So why is this happening to me? Then take a step back and look at the bigger picture. What is there to learn? There's always something to learn. Also, when you start to choose yourself and put yourself first, there will be people who gets mad or triggered and say that and so on, and have negative reactions. And many times at the beginning of that journey, it can be hard having people react that way, but just know that that's a reflection of themselves. Don't take it personally. You are not here to serve others, you're only here to serve yourself. And sometimes people will not have a good reaction to that, but that only shows that they probably don't have that good of relationship with themselves. And you can just rest assured in that then. That's also one thing I always have in my life. I never take anything personal. Never. Because, as I said before, people's way of acting is always a reflection of themselves. So, for one instance, I had a period where I was going through a hard, very hard time, and I was doing a thing for, how should I say, it was a very hard period where I had to make a very hard choice, and I was talking to someone who was close to me, and at first, or I told him everything because I needed to vent to someone. And later in the process, that person gave their personal opinion that was very, how should I say? I responded to that with saying, I appreciate that you're there for me, but this is only my choice. And I haven't asked about your opinion on this choice. I only needed someone to talk to. And that person got very, very offended and shut off directly. And what I know today is that that person moves throughout their life with no boundaries. They don't even know what boundary is. So then I knew also that it's no point in being, because at first I was like, how can you, I know it's hard to kind of understand if it's hard to understand what I mean when you don't know the whole situation, of course, but I was very sad because I really needed someone in that process which I was going through, and I was sad that that person was so offended that they wasn't there for me anymore. But then I looked from it from another perspective, which was that person don't have boundaries. So when I put up a boundary and said what I said, of course they will get so offended because they don't even have that boundaries for themselves or treat themselves in the best possible way. So actually there's no need for me to even get sad or angry at them. Of course, in the moment, the process was hard and I was feeling those things, but in the aftermath, is no point in holding resentment or anything to that person because their acting was only a reflection of themselves. So never take anything personal, especially if it's something like negative or something where someone is pointing out anything with you or saying blah blah blah. You can just know that they probably don't speak so good to themselves, and it's not meant that you should feel sorry for them. That's not what I'm saying, but you can move on and move through things very calmly when having that knowing. So I want to conclude this video by saying, set a goal. And the goal should be where you change your belief system into, just start with one belief thought. And that should be, I deserve the absolute best always. And, you know, repeat that to yourself. Repeat. Write down, say to yourself, think it for yourself. Because what you're doing is that in one way, you're tricking your brain and tricking your subconsciousness. And then when you do that, you will start to do small changes in the way you act and make choices based on that belief instead of those beliefs that are not serving you. And start with small steps. Start to know yourself. Start to get interested in, what do I like? What do I don't like? What do I want and what do I don't want? Because you owe it to yourself to get to a place where you love yourself the most and where you know your worth and act from that. Because you are the only one at your side throughout this whole life. You're always gonna have yourself in this life. So you should show yourself the best love and make the best choices for yourself. Always. I really hope I get out to someone who, or reaches out to someone who this could help. And I hope you reach your goals. And I hope that you get to a place where you never put happiness, love, or your well-being outside of yourself. Know that you always have it inside of you. And no one else can affect or take that away from you. You have the control of yourself.